Hello everyone and welcome back to CO-OPed Up. We are four friends minus one today who gather around talking casually about anything and some things. My name's Kenny and today I'm joined by my friend Cameron.
Hey, I'm a friend.
And my friend two, Alan.
Wait, am I friend one? Or am I just friend?
No, two as in T-O-O.
Oh, not W-O. Okay.
Hello.
I don't rank my friends. Hi, Alan.
You should.
You're right, I do actually. I have a private list.
It's a good habit.
And today we are missing a Connor because of some circumstances, but that's how it goes sometimes. But our topic to discuss today is CGI in anime or animation, but specifically anime for the most part because it's the most jarring thing that I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, and like in Western, it's mostly like either 3D or 2D. There's not really a mix. There's a couple examples, but not much.
But before we get into that, let's go ahead and discuss our past week. How have you been, Cameron?
Oh, my past life?
Yeah,
oh,
your
I'm
past
sure
life.
It's great. But I'm in this life. So, this past week has been, okay. I got sick, so that might be why I sound a little iffy today. You may hate the sound of my voice right now. I'm a little congested. I just asked for your forgiveness.
Yeah, I didn't give it.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. What else other than being sick? I've mostly just slept because I was just tired.
Yeah, was it like bedridden sick?
No, it was just not really bedridden. I just had a bunch of aches and pains. My nose was stuffed. My throat hurt. Typical colds. It's been like really hot here, so that has been helping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to go home and babysit my two dogs. One's like 18 years old, one's like under a year old. So they're both terrible for different reasons.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about pets, but I assume an 18-year-old thing is pretty hectic, and a 1-year-old thing is also pretty hectic.
Yeah, the 1-year-old is just like super hyper most of the time. The other one's just mostly sick most of the time.
Nice.
So it's a hard balance, but they're still alive. So I did my job correctly.
There you go.
For now.
Why you say it like that, though?
I'm just saying.
Why you gotta do it like that?
Well, how about your week, Alan? How's your week been?
Been all right. My life hasn't changed a lot. Just been finishing up the thing I told you about last week. Just putting some bricks in the dirt. Been working at my job and been not recording games with you guys for a week.
Yeah.
That must be tough.
It's okay.
Yeah, how about that? Well, my week has been uneventful, but I started grad school. I think I've said this for like the third week in a row now. I started grad school, and I really like the people in my program. Surprisingly enough, when I was in my bachelor's, just like a couple months ago, I didn't really know anybody or like anybody. But immediately, the first 2 weeks here, like just going to grad school, I like a lot of people. A lot of people like really cool and friendly. It's surprising. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't know
That's
grad
like
school
me
was going to be
year.
this, fun. Wow.
I'm glad for you, Kenny.
Yeah. How about that? I haven't been excited to go to school in a bit, but after this past week of going to school and meeting different people, especially because they're like the first meetings too, right? When you first meet someone, it's kind of like, I don't know. You're a little awkward.
You don't know all their secrets yet.
Yeah. But surprisingly enough, a lot of good people in my school.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever say what you were going into on the podcast?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I did. I'm trying to get my initial licensure in teaching in secondary education as a master's degree.
What does secondary mean again?
Secondary education means middle school to high school.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's been my week. Although I've also been playing a lot of Dark Souls.
Yeah, I'm really upset about you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Dark Souls too, right? I have to talk about this is that when I first started playing Dark Souls with Cameron and Matthew, I was not having it. I was not having it at all. Like, if I didn't have anybody to play with, I was not going to touch it. And I think after like a couple nights of just playing it together, I picked it up one day after we all ended a session of just gaming, and I started playing it on my own, and I really got addicted to it. It's really odd. It's it's kind of like this feeling that I get, when you play a game and you feel like you need to be challenged, but you've never really played anything like too hard. Like other like when you play some games, it's like a challenge you set up for yourself. Yeah. But you've never played a game that's actually challenging. Like playing Dark Souls 3, it's just wow. I haven't had this feeling in a long hot minute.
So I don't normally play those types of games either. Mm-hmm. But I think I was the same way. For the first part, I didn't really like it until I got to like the second area. Mm-hmm. Then it just kind of started clicking.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a fun game. It's a good game.
It's real fun.
I can't run it.
But hey, right. Maybe you'll be able to run it soon.
In the near future. In the near hot minute.
I like hot minutes.
I know you do.
But you know what I don't like? CGI in anime.
Okay. Let's get into it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I think Kenny and I have had this conversation multiple times about CGI. Uh-huh. We kind of have conflicting opinions on it in a way. Mm-hmm. But yeah, can you tell us what CGI is?
CGI? CGI. Yeah. I'm going to apply this to anime. CGI is 3D computer generated graphics that they integrate into shows. And the thing about anime in particular is that it's mostly a 2D genre. It's being drawn either electronically or hand drawn, and 3D is used primarily as a way of cutting corners. And that's where I have an issue with it. But Cameron says, it's okay.
I think, okay. I don't want to get into it too far, but just for stating it, I think it's not always about cutting corners. It normally is, for sure. Mm-hmm. A higher percentage of it is, but in some cases, it's actually used to help stylize the show a bit more and make it pop in some sort of way. Mm-hmm. In some certain cases. But yeah, for the most part, it does help save money. That is a part of it, but it's not the only part. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I'd say
also,
the
some
only
people
example,
say it's... Oh yeah, go on.
The only example I can think of that actually uses it in a stylized way is, I forget the name of the anime because it has like a really long Japanese name, but it's an anime where like a bunch of the characters are girls and they're like characterized after rocks and gems. And it's mainly CGI, and the main character is like this green opalescent emerald colored rock girl, and they fight monsters.
Yeah, are you talking about Land of the Illustrious?
Yeah, I think so, maybe.
Yeah, I know the Japanese name is way longer. I'm going to use English names because I don't memorize Japanese titles.
Yeah, you see them first. That's the Japanese names are always what I see first. So it's just like, that's that one.
Oh, I've never watched that show.
Yeah,
I haven't either, but I've heard a lot of good things about it.
And I'm gonna be honest, boys. CGI really puts me off, especially in anime, because it looks really bad.
Yeah, sure. Me too, Alan. Me too.
Sure. Okay.
Let's have.
I'm not Cameron. Let's start off with the best example, Berserk.
Okay. Do you want to get straight into bad CGI territory?
Let's just start off. Let's get with the bad.
I do have a list of CGI that I think is good and CGI that I think is really good.
Let's talk about that in a little bit, but let's talk about the really bad stuff, which is
really bad. Which is who are you?
So the first thing on here is definitely Berserk from summer 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Or spring 2017.
Yeah, do you remember that? Do you remember when like the hype behind it when they first released that initial trailer where everything was 2D and it was just a bunch of black screens and text too. And then they showed Guts in like 2D, and it was just like, ooh, get hype. But then they showed it, and then Guts was like a PS1 character.
Oh yeah, I do. I think did we watch the first episode together?
I don't know, but we did watch something about Berserk together.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos talking about how bad Berserk is. I think it's the most popular one to point fingers at when talking about bad CGI. Mm-hmm. It's the easiest one. And most people use that as an example as why CGI is bad in anime. Mm-hmm. I should also say that some people say CG, some people CGI. It's the same thing. Yeah. So I don't want to get yelled at about that. But yeah, Berserk is god awful, and I wish it wasn't. Because, well, is it Golden Egg Arc? The movies?
The Golden Age?
Golden Age, yeah. I mean, that was mostly CGI, and that was pretty good.
That wasn't mostly CGI. What are you talking about?
It was a lot of CGI.
It was a lot of CGI, but it was handled in a respectful manner. But the thing about that CGI, right, it was they were cutting corners, and when they did show it, it was bad. That's the thing.
I don't know. I don't think it was bad.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, then, Cameron. If you would prefer, which would you rather prefer, 2D or 3D?
Okay.
Specifically within the Berserk, like if you compare those scenes.
Oh, Berserk?
Right? Yeah.
Well, okay. First off, I should say, full 2D is honestly the perfect result, where it's all 2D. I think no matter what, that's great. But I can forgive some CGI here and there. I don't think it insults what you're making. I don't think it lowers the quality unless you have I shouldn't say professionals, people who are working on it who don't know what they're doing with CGI. Because you can make CGI look good. It's been done.
I'm not arguing against CGI looking good. I'm arguing against CGI in general, actually.
Yeah. You're saying no CGI whatsoever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like CGI. I'd rather 2D animation.
I'm gonna derail this a little bit into sort of the more technical stuff. There's been a recently popular brand of CGI that I've been seeing in anime specifically. It's where you have these CGI models, right? But then the entire show runs on a really weird low frame rate. Right? You know what I'm talking about? Like you'll find this specifically in Netflix shows.
Ajin
too, yeah. Ajin as well. Characters are animated in a weird, stiff way where they are like, most of it is just like a bunch of pictures like jumbled up together, and I get that's what animation is, but its frame rate is really low, and it feels like the screen is stuttering and tearing every time a character moves.
Okay. Wait, you're saying you're getting into this? Like, it?
No. I'm not liking it. I'm getting into it as in, I'm getting into the technical aspects of it. Like, there's been that recent brand of or style of animation that's been being popularized in anime, specifically with the Netflix shows.
Yeah, because the ones I can think off the top of my head is like Knights of Sidonia.
Yeah, Knights of Sidonia, especially. When I first saw that, it was a big standout. That was
jarring. I hated that. I don't know if people like that one or not. I don't want to. I mean, it's my opinion. I don't think it was that good. I watched the first 2 seasons, and I probably should not have watched any of it, to be honest with you. But it was so jarring. It's the same reason I can't get into Ruby as well.
Well, the thing about Ruby is that I'll actually defend Ruby because I like Ruby a lot. The thing about Ruby is that it doesn't have that sort of brand of style of animation that I'm talking about.
What do you mean?
Okay, sure. That's totally separate. He's talking about the stuttering.
The stuttering, low frame rate animation.
It looks bad though.
Look! Hold on.
You can just say, "Oh, that's the style." Yeah, it looks like it was.
The thing about Ruby is that it's just got really amateur design. It's the design that's really amateur, and you get the feeling that this wasn't done by someone, or like a professional, or like a visionary, right? Like someone who has like a specific vision to take this, and it's not. It's like you can feel like it's a group effort rather than something that's coherently thought out by a single person.
I think that's why CGI in most anime is kind of terribly made, is because it's still kind of new in a way. Like, I know the very first anime with CGI is have you ever watched, what was it called? It was Initial D.
Oh yeah, Initial D.
Yeah, they use CGI for the cars.
Yeah.
Which it looks outdated because it looked bad, but it looks better than 3D models of. I think CGI of organic objects are terrible, like people and humans, or bears in Golden Kamuy. Because those all look terrible and look like the thing from Nightmares. But when it's like mechs, cars, what else is usually buildings are usually CG in most anime.
Yeah,
that also looks bad.
I think it fits sometimes. Of course, there are bad examples. Like, if you look at isekais, they use a lot of CGI in those regards, and it always looks terrible.
Cameron, I'm just gonna tell you right now. When you change the art style in such a way that you can honestly tell it's CGI, compared to a hand-drawn drawing, right?
Oh, sure.
Or animation, it looks bad.
I agree. When you're switching between two, but if, like, say it's a mech show, all the mechs are CG. They're never 2D. You don't want to go back and forth. That's bad.
Yeah, no, I still don't like that. I don't like that a 3D model is superimposed on a 2D plane.
Okay. I think it works sometimes.
Now, the thing about that, Alan, is that there has been cases where I feel like it has worked. However, it was mainly 2D. And now let me set up a situation. The recent reboot Evangelion series, the Neon Genesis Evangelion movie series that's been coming out in the late 2000s.
Oh, sure.
They use a specific technique, I'm not sure what it's called, but where they would set up these 3D CG scenes, right? But then they would draw over them in 2D to the point where you can no longer recognize them as 3D.
Yes.
But you
could
see like the animation and movement of the animation style, but you wouldn't be able to, like, you could tell like this probably wasn't animated using like freehand 2D. Like they specifically used a model, and the thing about using CG in that way is that I'm okay with that, because the thing about CGI is that it links coherent movement, right? Like there's some sort of coherent body language or body movement, or maybe not even like a person. Maybe it's like a car. Like if you have like a CG car and you at least draw over it, that's fine.
Yeah. But I think that is a better choice.
Yeah, that's the ultimate. That's the best choice you could do if you're going CG route and you're using a mainly 2D design.
It's like making a 3D model, but not putting like lighting layers, texture onto the object. You're just kind of imposing a 3D object in a 2D world. It will never look good.
Yeah, I actually had to wonder about that too. Even in CGI animes, they do that as well. Like, everything would be pretty blobby or like clean and washed. It's very odd.
Yeah, it's not a great look sometimes. Well, let's see. I have more bad CGI if you want to hear.
Let's talk about the bad ones.
Yeah, tell them.
Okay, one that I'm really disappointed in is Kingdom. I don't know if any of you heard of that.
I watched Kingdom. It was actually, funny enough, it was actually the CGI that made me stop watching.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's like laughable bad. It's probably, I honestly think it's worse than Berserk. I've read all of the manga for Kingdom. It's still ongoing. It's like, I think it's like 500 chapters right now. It's a very long manga. And it's a really great kind of battle strategy kind of manga about war. And there's like a lot going on in the art. And you see that in a lot of great battle anime. Like Vinland had a couple issues there where there was a bunch of people on the screen, and Kingdom had the same issue, but I think Vinland does it way better since the technology has improved so much. But they're 3D models without like any shading, no detailing. They're like sharp polygon figures, and they move like 5 frames per second. It doesn't look good at all.
Yeah.
And I really want a good adaptation of Kingdom, but I don't think we're going to get it.
Yeah, you know, that kind of like increases my worries too, because in the recent anime Villain Saga, right? I'm beginning to see more and more CG as the episodes continue.
Oh,
now, I realize there's only like 10, 11 episodes so far, but I think with like at least half of the episodes there have been like really big scenes that use predominantly CGI.
Oh,
and
sure.
I'm not vibing with that.
Yeah, I think especially in the manga, I could see, because there's a lot of action going on at one time early on. Later on, it gets 1-1. There's not as many people on the screen or on the comic page. So I think it'll probably get better. I haven't been turned off by the CGI in Vinland. I've only watched probably 6 or 7 episodes right now. I think it's fine perfectly. It's never been disgusting.
I think it's okay. I still don't like it.
I agree. Of course, anything's better than CG. I'll pick anything, but I don't think it ruins my enjoyment of a show.
It does a little bit for me, just a little bit.
For you,
actually, a lot. Actually, a lot. I'm gonna say that. The thing about, let me just rant on about Vinland for a second. Sure. The thing about Vinland Saga is that it's being animated or being headed by Studio Wit. These are the people that did Attack on Titan.
Yes.
Right? Attack on Titan was like, especially for like the first season. I'm not sure how the second season 2 and season 3 did, but especially the first season, when there are a lot of good Sakuga and animation bits from that first season, right? Yeah. Like you can look at the opening and just find that, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, and most of the city is usually CGI in the show.
Yeah, in the show, it's mostly And I could forgive that because most of the animation that what they would use CGI buildings and such, the animation was going really fast to the point where it wasn't on screen.
Yeah,
to the point where you would notice.
They were taking action shots.
Yeah. You see, when it's done like that, it's done in a respectful manner. It's done as a way of not saying, hey, let's do this because we're running low on money. If you're running low on money, you don't want to show that. At least that's what I think. But
or you're saving up for that big money episode where you spend it all.
I mean, I don't agree with that kind of direction either. You don't.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's typical.
Yeah.
You can tell when it's that episode.
But tell me more about these bad ones, Cameron.
Okay. I guess I do want to say that not all the bad ones, bad CGI moments, are going to be bad shows. Because in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, it's an awesome show, but not one scene, but like a few episodes, I think, with the transformation of Envy. Do you remember that, Kenny?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was gross.
It wasn't good. Alan, I don't think you've seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, have you?
No, I haven't.
All right, well, it's a really good show, and it's predominantly 2D. But the only use of CG that they would ever do is when a character turns into like this giant monster, right? And this giant monster is strictly only CG.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know. It was really weird.
And the thing is, like they've shown like little tidbits here and there about like this character looking 2D as well, this giant monster.
Oh yeah.
But like seeing that giant 2D cool monster turn to CGI really abruptly, it's like, oh no.
It was like their lighting issues. It wasn't lit properly. There was no shadows on it. It was like it did not fit the scene at all.
That sounds disgusting.
And I saw the original Full Metal Alchemist as well, and it was kind of similar. They had the same look and everything, and that was all 2D, and that looked amazing. It was a way better job than the original. So it's weird to me that they would. I think this was a budget cut sort of thing, or maybe they're just trying to experiment. I don't know, but like all the fights have been so good. I can't recall a bad one, but that was like the only bad fight. And it was like one of the biggest moments where one of the main characters reveals its true identity. And it kind of lowered that expectation. And
spoilers.
Spoilers. This is my true final form.
Well, we never explained what it is, but it's pretty obvious that their identity is hidden. But I don't want to get too far into it.
Okay.
I have one more.
Okay.
That is kind of more recent. Zombieland Saga. Actually, I should say any idol show.
Oh yeah, actually, a lot of idol shows do that. The only exception to this, the only exception that I found to this is probably something like Idolmaster. Idolmaster usually has really good like 2D animation, and they mostly stick to just 2D animation, and I haven't seen any CG from them. But I don't know about the other idol shows.
Because I don't watch idol shows at all. The only one I've seen is probably Zombieland Saga.
Yeah. I mean, as I said that, like something like Love Live. Have you seen Love Live, the music videos? Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Are they good, though?
I have no idea. I'm not a big fan of idol shows. I can't attest to that.
Because the whole show is... I'll just use Zombieland Saga as an example because that's the only one I really know. But it has really good animation for the most part when they're not on stage or doing a performance. It's really good for the first 3 episodes, and then they start using CGI for the big music numbers where they're on stage. It just looks like a mocap suit animation sort of thing, which I'm sure that's what they did.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of... Do you remember the DK show?
Oh, yes.
DK.
It reminded of that, because that was all mo-capped. It was all like kind of... It was too realistic of movements on an animation where we've seen them kind of move naturally. Well, in the anime world, yeah.
Like it was realistic movements, but it was clumsily animated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I've seen examples of that in other idol shows. I never really watch them though, like I said.
I actually want to bring up something. I want to bring up the old classic Fate Stay Night anime. A Fate Stay Night anime that was animated in I think it came out in 2004 maybe, I want to say. But they have this peculiar scene, and in the visual novel it was a sex scene, right?
So
curious enough, in this new scene they edited for the anime, or rewrote for the anime, they had the main character enter a hellish realm with a PlayStation 2 dragon. Now, you see, what happened with this PlayStation 2 dragon is that this PlayStation 2 dragon roared, and then it flew up, and then it bit his arm. And then he's all like, oh no, my arm. And then he snapped back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, I'm back in 2D. Oh, I've done the sex.
What? No, I'm being serious. What?
I know, yeah. That's how it went. You know?
I think my mind just erased that from my memory.
Yeah,
where was this?
Fate Stay Night.
Oh, I didn't...
The original anime.
I skipped a lot of that garbage.
Oh, wait, the original.
Okay, the original. I'm not talking about the new one. The new one's fine. The new one's pretty faithful to the visual novel, and that's fine. But the old one was when they really took their liberties.
Okay.
You know, you ever just do the nasty and then all of a sudden get your arm ripped by a CGI PlayStation 2 dragon, and you're just like, wow, I've done it. I'm no longer boy, I'm man. Thanks, dragon.
Man, I really want to watch the original now.
Yeah. No, actually, no, don't.
Okay, I don't want to watch any more Fate. I've seen Zero and Stay Night, and that's all I'm going to watch probably.
Thank you. Yeah.
But this is a good segue into good CGI.
Is it?
Because I believe Ufotable is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
What?
Ufotable. Ufotable is
it's an animation studio.
Studio, yeah. And they do Fate series. They do the you watch the Blade of Demon Destruction with us. The kid with the kimono that's kind of like green checkered.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sister.
That one? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they use a lot of CGI in a lot of their stuff, especially the Fate series. God Eater, they also do. I don't know how good the CGI is in that, but I haven't seen it.
That was one of their rougher projects.
Okay. But I think most of their projects have been really good.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're doing with CGI. And they can blend it in perfectly well.
The odd thing about Ufotable, I mean, I say Ufotable, but it's Ufotable. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they pronounce it.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The odd thing about what they do is that they add a lot of color and detail to the point where the CGI and 2D would blend pretty well. And for the most part, they do a pretty good job of like masking the two. And I think that's what makes them unique. I don't think I've ever seen another animation company do that.
Yeah.
And you're talking about that. I don't know what that series is called. The one with the boy and the samurai and his sisters.
Blade of Demon Destruction.
Wow. Blade of Demon Destruction.
No Yaiba, I think.
Something. Kisetsu no Yaiba. You said.
Yeah, Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Something like that. The CGI that I've seen in there is strictly tied to the special effects, isn't it? Like
yeah, a lot of it is. And it does break that rule that I said earlier about CGI shouldn't be used for organic things like humans. But this is a brand new show, so we're at the peak of CGI right now. Not the peak, but I mean
the current peak of CGI.
Yeah, and it doesn't bother me. It's actually surprisingly really well done. And I'm impressed with it. Like the environments look super good, and that's all CGI. And there's some action shots, but it's blended so well.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah, I was too. Oh, they also, Garden of Sinners. I know you like that series.
Oh yeah, Garden of Sinners. I love that.
Yeah, that uses a lot of CGI as well.
They do.
People don't think.
Yeah, they did it for the background environments, like buildings and such. Yeah, tasteful CGI. How about that?
Yeah. So CGI I think Youthful has probably the trophy in this category of animation. Let's see. Another one. Let's stick with that background sort of thing. The background's kind of 3D. And you could tell it's CGI. Is it Kitsumonogatari? I know you both watched it.
Kizumonogatari? Yeah. The Bakemonogatari series, yeah.
Oh, that's a good series. I like that series.
And that's a lot of CG.
Well, they do it in a different... I think they do it in a different way. They only do it for objects.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they
literally
do it for
just
objects,
physical objects and transitions that are supposed to make it feel uncanny.
True. But the thing to add on that is that it's stylized, right?
Yes.
It's stylized in such a way where environments don't look like normal environments. And that's the sort of style they're going for. And it's used in such a creative way to the point where you accept it immediately.
Yes.
Like, this is that kind of show. And
I've only watched the first movie, but I'm only put this on here because of that.
I don't think it's just the first movie. I think it applies to the entire series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess Kill la Kill also has a lot of CG as well.
Or a mix of. Have a lot of CG, but it's not good CG.
Is it not? No, I have no idea. I've watched half of it.
No. Kill la Kill it's an odd show because it has some good 2D, but then whenever the CG comes on, it's really bad. It's really bad. It's real rough. There's this specific scene where the protagonist is fighting the sort of antagonist of the show, and they both there's these weird awkward zoom ins and zoom outs and zoom ins, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna puke. It's nauseating to look at. But I mean, I'm just gonna rant about Kill la Kill for just a second too. Kill la Kill takes advantage of using the Microsoft PowerPoint animation. So I don't know why they do that.
What do you mean?
What I mean, they draw a character and they slide them across the screen.
Oh yeah. I've seen that too. That was mostly 2D. But it's used as
it's 2D
comedy.
But yeah, it's like taking a sticker and then just like dragging it across like a flat surface.
Yeah. They lasso tooled the character and just kind of slid them across the Photoshop panel.
Love it. I'm being facetious. I hate it. But tell me.
I heard conflicting opinions on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really conflicting in my opinion. I mean, it's just...
In your opinion?
I mean, look at that. Don't tell me that's good.
I don't think it's good. I don't think it's bad, though.
What? Never mind.
You're talking about Kill la Kill?
Yeah.
The sort of the PowerPoint animations in Kill la Kill.
I think some of them are okay because they're used for comedic effect. Yes. But some other ones are they're not okay.
Okay.
Well, that's actually that might be working with me. That point might be working with me because if you have some that work out, then shouldn't you only apply it in a scenario where it does work?
Yes. No, I agree.
Yeah, because it's just like, oh, now there's some that there's like some scenes where this style of an animation doesn't work, and then that really detracts from the ones that do work.
I think Kill la Kill used to be a really good show, and then they botched it near the end.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They also botched it in the beginning, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. We should do anime reviews. That'd be pretty fun. Let's just rag on anime.
Just bad shows?
Yeah. Well, bad shows, maybe good shows. We should take a popular show like My Hero Academia season 4 and just destroy it.
Just trash it, even though we love it?
Yeah. They can't know we love it?
Oh, sure. I
could probably do it.
Yeah?
Wait, what's season 4 about again? Which one's that
Season 4
one?
is with
I think the Overhaul. Dr. Mask guy with Lemillion.
Yeah,
and the girl with
Overhaul, that arc.
Oh, can we do it about season 3? Because I didn't like a lot of things about season 3.
Oh, we can do it about season 3. Maybe we can do that on next podcast. We can just rip apart My Hero season 3.
2 anime podcasts in a row?
Yeah.
No, let's not do that.
Not do that? All right.
No, let's not do that.
That'd be topical.
We could just make that
season 4 comes out in pretty soon.
Yeah. I mean, we could have our own show about that. That's like 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
10,
let's have like a ranting little bit.
Sure.
How
I'd
about
love that.
Anyway, regardless, getting back on topic.
Yeah.
Any more good ones, do you think?
Not that I could. Well, I don't have any more listed, but there's. What was that? Do you remember that show we watched recently? The Isekai with Dante, the Devil May Cry looking guy.
Yeah.
Oh, the very edgy guy.
I think it's
who
called
eats monsters.
Arifureta something.
I don't. What are you speaking?
Look. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to speak in the Japanese, the Nihon.
It's not really working out for you.
Yeah, it's not really working out.
Or actually, it's not working out for Alan.
I can't understand Japanese. So
yeah, but it's that show where it's the edgy guy who kind of like loses an arm, then he fights a bear, and then
there was CGI in that, but we all agreed it was bad.
Yeah,
it was bad. I'm off of good CGI now. I'm going back to bad.
Oh yeah, that was
more fun to talk about. Because I think that's probably the most popular isekai right now. And I don't know how.
Yeah, it's one of the more popular shows this season.
Do people like trash?
I mean,
it's so bad.
All right, here's a hot take. Hot take about the anime crowd. You guys like the same garbage over and over again with literally almost no change.
The thing is, everyone I talk to hates isekai, and I don't understand why it's
What
so
do you
popular.
mean? It's
Like-
just the same garbage with more garbage piled on top.
Exactly. Why do we go back to the same topics?
Because they're stupid.
I
Like,
know.
I'm telling you, there's like 10 anime a season that are just the same show with slight variations. And I'm like, cool, I'm not going to watch it.
See, I don't know how anime reviewers can do their job like this because they have to watch everything in a season, like the first episode, and keep up with the stuff.
I feel
I
like
don't know
that's-
how you go through a whole season and watch that trash.
I
don't
mean,
get it.
I think they have like a, and I wouldn't say easy, but I would say they never run out of content. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Like,
Make it a-
they're making money, dude.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
especially if you, I mean, this might just be talking about anime reviewers now. Anime
Sure.
reviewers, they typically, they nitpick at a certain thing, and then that's usually entertaining.
Oh, sure. Yeah, but that's not our topic right now.
Yeah, that's not our topic right now. We can talk
I'm
about
sorry.
anime reviews later.
You could beat me up later.
Yeah.
No.
I derailed it.
Okay. I mean, well, I might pop off your kneecap later, but I mean, who knows?
All right. I'll look forward to that.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else is there?
Hey, so Ruby, right?
Oh, you want to get into Ruby again?
So
I'm
Ruby.
never going to watch this show.
Yeah, you don't have to watch it because I think I kind of stopped watching it myself. I haven't seen the latest season, but the latest season has some controversial stuff.
Ooh.
The thing about Ruby is that in the beginning, it's got rough animation, like real rough, as in you have like mostly gray and black buildings, and then you have like a bunch of
Like,
shadow
high school
people walking
students make
around.
this. Didn't Connor say that most of them were like rips from Skyrim? Like, there was a Skyrim dragon
Well,
in
I
it?
mean, the thing about that is that like the wolves used in the trailer, they were ripped off of the
Yeah.
Skyrim wolves.
Yeah, it wasn't like. Oh yeah, wasn't there like a werewolf as well?
It was the werewolf. It was the model. But the thing about that is
Yeah.
that I'll defend that point because the werewolves were like applied like this pitch black color, and they had like this black smoke coming out of them, and like pure red eyes that like traced their movements. And I'd say that it's used in a stylized enough way to the point where it actually looks really good. Even if you're using the assets, as long as you spin it in a creative way that sort of makes the design your own, I think that's fine.
So you're pro asset flips?
Yeah, I'm a pro joke stealer, stealing other people's art,
Like you did with
remixing
this
art.
background.
No, it's asset. It's a free resource that someone took and some put out there.
No, I know. I don't think that's a free resource. Actually, is a Skyrim model free
Is it?
resource?
Is it?
I feel like it wouldn't be.
Would it not be?
If
Maybe
it's
not.
made by Bethesda, I don't think Bethesda sells their models. Maybe they do. I just don't know.
Well, tell that to the people that at Blizzard, and there's a lot of Blizzard things flying around, and Overwatch
boy.
specifically.
We
But maybe that's just something else for another day.
We should just have a controversial episode where we just talk about all things controversial.
I
We won't
think
have enough time.
We won't have enough time, but
It'll be an hour. It's a 2-hour long special.
I
2 hour long.
want to talk about controversial stuff, but you guys are always scared.
What do you
so we
mean?
don't do it.
What do you mean? I always want to bring up controversial stuff, but then you stop me. You stop me.
It depends on what it is.
It
honestly.
depends, he says.
Like if it happened a year ago, that's fine. Topical
mean-
stuff is
Topical stuff are the most fun things to talk about, though.
He's got a
true.
point.
You're right. And you're
Like,
right. You're
that's
right.
when you get heated. That's when you're in the moment, right? When you're just like, woo!
True.
But
We're off topic again.
on my rant about Ruby, the thing about Ruby that I loved was that even though it was amateurish visually, I think the storytelling was like exciting, especially with like the first 3 volumes of it, and the
Okay.
writing got progressively better and better as they started building up the comedic moments and the serious moments, and then there was like a really weird
sure.
but well balanced sort of style that they hit. But then everything after that, they've just sort of been derailing it, and
Oh.
also the art style changed too. So then, ever since that happened, I've sort of been off the bandwagon. It's just
Okay.
like,
I've only seen the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything past that, but I didn't like what I saw at
yeah.
least.
The signature thing about Ruby was that the fighting choreography right? You know, when people talk about Ruby, they usually talk about the fighting choreography and how good it looks. But that's no longer a staple in the series, so it's just like, oh well.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's a big damn shame.
Yeah, has the writing just gotten garbage?
Yeah, the writing's gotten garbage. It's
Nice.
rough, you know, because it's weird to see something develop and get better as you go along, and then just immediately plummet. It hurts. It hurts a lot. That's my
I'm
rant
sorry
for
for
Ruby.
your loss.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry too. Except that I can't feel sorry because I just feel bad.
Oh.
Anyway.
Sucks to suck.
So rude.
Anyway, I think that sort of wraps up my sort of rants on CGI.
CGI.
Anything else? Any other comments?
I'm not like super passionate about CGI, so
Yeah.
like I don't really care. I mean, like if we talk about CGI in like normal animation, I'd probably feel more passionate about it. But like in anime, it's already like redundant, and like CGI is redundant, so like it's redundant squared, and I don't really give a shit. So
that's a good way to put it, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's best when a show doesn't have CGI, but it's forgivable if it's done correctly, and it needs to be done correctly, or else it could really ruin the show.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing anyone could talk about the show.
I actually
like
do
Golden
have a
Kamuy, that first episode got a lot of flack, but the rest of the animation has been good from what I heard. They lost a lot of viewers because of that, I think. What were we going to say?
Do have a question about CGI. You guys remember that trailer for the Lupin the Third CGI movie?
Oh, yes.
Now, I don't think Alan remembers. It's basically in the CGI movie, they're sort of stylizing it after Disney CGI style. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to say Pixar, but maybe in that direction.
It's not really Pixar, because I think Pixar has a really rounded style to it. It's a very smooth, round,
and I think it depends on what era of Pixar you're talking about.
I'm talking. Well, they're human, so most of the humans in Pixar kind of look the same. They're the same style for the most part.
I think I'm saying Pixar might be the wrong thing. Maybe something like Sony animated movies, like something like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, something in that direction.
Yes,
you know?
okay, I could see that.
Yeah, like they're sort of taking that approach to style, except in like with anime designs, and that sort of that really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Oh, really? I thought it looked really good.
Yeah, I thought it looked really good too, but like specifically with the pro anime community, it really vibed them. It touched them in the wrong places, you know.
But I'm a pro Lupin fan.
You're a pro Lupin fan, and that's
you're talking about that new Lupin movie?
Yeah, the new one.
That shit looks fire.
I know, right? It looks good.
It looks like a good movie.
I'm excited for it. I've seen so many Lupin movies, and I've seen most of the show.
I've seen absolutely zero, but I was blown away by the animation.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Yeah, and the thing about the animation is that a lot of people had problems with it because it wasn't quote unquote anime.
Well, they can suck my nuts.
Not anime. It doesn't have to be anime.
Yeah, how about that?
It could just be a movie.
Wow, that's a radical concept, Cameron. You can't say that. Never say that again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get canceled.
Okay. Well, I
shut down
think
my opinion.
I think that sort of wraps up our thoughts on CGI and anime, specifically anime. Maybe we'll talk about good CGI in Western media, but that'll be not a actual topic we will ever talk about because that's pretty boring. Why would you talk about things you like?
I think that could be an interesting topic if we spin it a certain way. Yeah. Like best Pixar movies rated or ranked.
Well, then that's just rating the movies. That's not talking about the animation.
It's still style. Western CG.
You know what? You're right, Cameron. You know what's also right? The right time to end this podcast.
Okay.
This podcast was brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you.